Welcome to another pretty rainy Monday. We were talking about how the last couple, actually, last several Mondays have been quite rainy here in Devon's. So just that mindset, I have to kind of go get over it. I know for me, when it's rainy, it brings a lot of fatigue and just kind of want to curl up and hang out on the couch. So we're going to start on our backs this evening, like we have been doing. So really, either been sitting in a seat like this or in our backs, but just the way that things have been going lately, I think that starting on your back is a really great way to get yourself onto your mat mentally. And it kind of gives you a chance to relax for a moment or um, kind of surrender yourself, especially if you've been on the go all day. Getting that nice support on the back might feel good. So, as we come into our centering part of class, get yourselves nice and comfortable, whether you are at home watching this video or you're here in studio in Devon's. You can have your legs extended down the mat if you'd like, or you can have the soles of the feet on the ground, the knees coming up. I like to have my knees actually kind of coming in toward each other into an internal rotation. It personally feels good on my hips, but I know that not everyone has that sensation. Another great way to start off, you can come the other way, so the soles of the feet together, the knees coming out on the other side. You can feel free to keep your eyes open or closed, have a soft gaze. I will always have my eyes open. But as we have arrived here physically onto our mat, I know that you can kind of be lingering from your previous activities before class, whether that was sitting in traffic or you were running errands or had some other chaotic activity, maybe work or class. So this is really a great time to recalibrate the mind, coming back to the present. And we can start that by bringing some mindfulness into the body. I offer and suggest taking a head to toe body scan and just seeing how you're feeling this evening. Not how you wish you were feeling or how you were feeling earlier in the day, but just how you're feeling right now. It's head to toe. So physically, how are you doing? How are you doing mentally and energetically as well? As we're taking our little checklist here, we can tune into the breath. Something that's always there for us and with us, but sometimes we just need a little perspective shift, just a little reconnection of the breath. So we can start to deepen the breath, focusing on the inhales and the exhales, starting first initially taking a deep breath through the nose, sipping the air all the way. And on the exhale, releasing that warm, stale air away from the body, letting it go. With each inhale, continuing to sip that air in, and through the exhalation, see if you can push out a little bit more air each time. If you'd like, you can place a hand over your belly, feeling the natural inflation and deflation of the breath, letting it all come in and out. With each exhale, see if you can soften the shoulders a bit. Maybe as you start to bring that breath into the body, noticing how the ground is supporting you, feeling the natural curvature of the spine and those points where it is truly pressing into the ground versus the indentations in the body and the spine that are gently lifted away. A couple more breaths here. Maybe setting an intention for this evening's practice, or if you have a dedication to this practice, all of those things are welcome. Legs are not already extended down the mat, go ahead and lengthen them down all the way, bringing a flex to the feet so that the toes are pointing up and the heels are firmly pressing into the floor. As we start to activate our lower body and our legs, having a good feeling of the muscles contracting around the bone in those legs. Your arms can be extended right down by your side. We'll start with the palms up, facing the ceiling. So right into an external rotation of the shoulders, opening up the chest, taking a couple deep breaths here. This time on the next inhale, we'll sweep our arms up all the way overhead. You can clasp your arms, interlacing the fingers up overhead. As we continue to press into the heels of our feet, flexing the toes. Now we're starting to engage the upper part of the body, opening up the rib cage and the diaphragm, taking several deep breaths here. Through that last breath, we'll let the arms come all the way back down. You can relax them. And we'll start to bring some smaller movements into the body, warming up the hips and the spine before we come into a little bit of a flow like we have been doing in our practices. So we'll start by bringing the left knee into the chest, continuing to lengthen that right leg down the mat. Feel free to take a bind, wrapping or interlacing your fingers around that left shin there. Giving it a hug toward the chest. And we'll just start to bring small movements into the hip. You can start by rocking side to side, taking note of what this feels like in the body as you start to open up the hips. I know for a lot of people, we don't get this exact movement in our day-to-day activities. So really focusing and bringing that movement in there is really good for the bodies. We can bring that leg back through center and we'll prep for our hip circles. You can place your left palm over the left knee and gently guiding it into circles, one direction first, whether that's clockwise or counterclockwise, that is yogi's choice. Maybe you start to match the movement with a breath, taking a deep inhale, coming through the circle, and exhale, completing the circle. And go ahead, switch directions if you have not already. Just getting equal on both sides. And one more round. And we'll bring it back through center. So as we start to lengthen out the leg, if you're in studio, I know we make use of the straps, but you don't have to have a strap. You can definitely make use of what you do have, whether it's a towel, twist it around to create a rope and placing it over your leg, or another sort of rope, or you can just simply interlace your fingers behind the back of that leg as well. All great stuff. Since we do have the props here in studio, why not make use of them? We'll place the strap over the left ball of the foot, taking all the ends of that strap into the left hand. So we're creating a little half split with the leg here. As you continue to press into the heel of that right foot, we're also continuing to lift up, pressing into the strap with that left leg. If you have tight hamstrings, you might opt for a little bend in the knee if you like. Nothing has to be stick straight. Few more breaths here. Last one. And exhale, we'll cross over midline. So over to the right, you might start to get that stretch in the outer left leg, the IT band. Breathing in to the stretch, finding some sort of surrender or softness here. One more breath. And exhale, coming back through center, and then we'll take it out to the left. So working our adductors and our abductors, those hip muscles, those hip flexors that create the movement with our legs. 2 more breaths here. Last one. And exhale, we'll come back through center. You can release the strap away for now. Before bringing that leg all the way down, we'll slowly lower it, hovering a couple inches above the floor, and we'll start to pulsate it up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go ahead, release all the way down. Taking a deep breath in and out. One more. Exhale. Great. So we're going to take that same sequence over to the other side. First, engaging, activating that left side, pressing the left heel into the floor, and sure enough, we'll bend that right knee into the chest. And start to bring that leg side to side. Couple hip openers. As we start to take our poses on this side, just checking in and seeing how it's feeling compared to that first that we did. Maybe it's a little tighter, maybe you're starting to maybe even have some pops or snaps going on. As long as you're not in any pain, breathing through, acknowledging. Okay, we'll come back through center and we'll take those full hip circles, right palm over the right knee, and gently coming into those circles, matching movement with breath. And go ahead, switch directions. Two more. Last one. And coming back through center. Hopefully didn't place your strap too far away. We'll take it to the other side. So placing the strap over the right ball of the foot, both ends of the strap in the right hand. So we're coming to this half split on the other side, pressing into the heel of that left foot, right leg extends up to the sky, maybe waving hello with your foot, getting some ankle rolls in, a point and flex, just warming up with it. Next, inhale, crossing over midline, right leg to the left side, over to the props wall if you are in studio. One more. And exhale, coming back through center and now out to the right, to the door. Great. One more breath. And exhale, coming back through center. Releasing your strap. We'll take the leg pulses on this side. So releasing the strap, lowering that leg a couple inches off the floor, pulsing up and down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release all the way down. You can windshield wiper your feet back and forth. And we'll bring both soles of the feet to the ground. The knees coming up, and we'll give yet another windshield wiper back and forth. Now we're starting to work the lower part of the spine. On the next inhale, over, we'll bring the knees over to the right. Just letting them kind of collapse over, and just a little twist here. Nothing crazy. Taking a couple deep breaths. And after that last breath, we'll bring the knees back up and then taking them over to the left or whichever side you haven't done yet. One more breath. And exhale, coming back through center. We can bring both knees into the chest. A little bind if you'd like. and rocking side to side. Giving a little compression massage to the base of the spine, our sacrum, right above the tailbone. Great. We'll start to make our way up. You can pick a side to slowly roll over, and we'll bring ourselves up into a tabletop position. Straight onto our hands and our knees, taking our quick little check-in as we separate our fingers, pressing into the pads and the upper knuckles, trying to keep as much weight out of the wrist as possible. A lot of injuries happen in the wrist for yogis, so we can start to build strength in our joints and tendons surrounding, so that we don't have to put that much pressure there. Keeping a nice neutral neck, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. We also want to engage and keep active our core, right where our abdomen is. So you can start to think about cinching everything up toward the spine, getting a little fire in the belly. And right away, we'll start with our cat-cow poses. On the next inhale, we'll draw the shoulders back, bringing your gaze forward as you tilt your pelvis. And on the exhale, rounding the spine as you lower the tailbone, bringing chin to chest. So we'll come back and forth in those two poses, then starting to let them connect, then just letting it flow, matching the movement with the breath. As you get into your own little flow, you might start to think about manipulating the spine to move one vertebra at a time, finding the space in between the pieces of our back, rather than just thinking of it as one whole piece. A couple more movements here, a couple more rounds of breath. 2 more. And last one. We'll meet right back in our tabletop position. So as we start to shift our weight over to the right, we'll free up our left hand. On the next inhale, we'll reach that left arm up to the sky. And on the exhale, threading the needle underneath that right side. Maybe your left side of the head comes to the floor, but it doesn't have to. You can definitely make use of the props around you, or even creating a little pillow with that right hand. To further keep this pose active, we'll press into the back of that left hand in an isometric movement. So we're not moving anything, we're just contracting the muscles around the bone. Sending your breath all the way to the back, to that open space that you've created. Noticing where you feel it the most. Maybe it's in the back of the shoulder. Maybe you are feeling it in the back. 2 more breaths. Last one. And exhale, starting to lift ourselves back up, reaching that left arm to the sky one more time, and then sending it home. Great. Now we'll take it to the other side. So inhale, right arm up to the sky, reaching, and exhale, sweeping underneath that left. Beautiful. Deep breaths into that open space. Two more. Last one. And exhale, lifting ourselves back up, reaching up to the ceiling one more time, and then sending it back home. 8. Okay, from here, we'll come into a child's pose, so you can widen the knees, bringing big toes to touch as the hips start to reach down towards the heels. We'll reach and extend our arms forward, maybe the forehead touches the ground. Again, it does not have to. You can make use of maybe a prop. If you are at home, you can use a pillow, or you can use a block to place underneath your forehead. So as we're here, there's a lot of things going on. I'm just lifting my head up so that I can talk. We are getting that extension in the back, which is really great to have that space. But we're also getting a deep hip opener right at the bottom of the spine, which is also really great too. Getting a shoulder opener as well. So many things going on. And in yoga, it is considered a resting pose as well. A great pose to come back to if you need to catch your breath or take a breather. So please, at any time, feel free to come here at any point. You can even stay here the rest of the class. No judgment at all. There's a lot of great passive stretching, passive opening, and it's just a great way to reground yourself and reconnect. We'll take a couple more breaths here. As you take your inhale, we'll continue to reach the arms forward. And on the exhale, still reaching that lower part of the butt body to the heels. One more breath. And on that exhale, we'll start to lift the hips up and bringing your hands back underneath the shoulders and just adjusting right back into our tabletop. From here, we'll get ourselves prepped into, we have 2 different choices. You can either come into your puppy pose, so similar to, it's like a hybrid between child's pose and downward facing dog. You're keeping the hips up, but you're just reaching your arms forward. So you're getting that extension in the back as well. If you're feeling up for a challenge, you can also come into downward facing dog. So creating that V shape with the body as you lift the hips, lifting the knees, sending the hips up and back, create that V shape. Love the variety. Great job, everyone. We'll take a couple more breaths here. Last one. And through the exhale, we'll start to make our way into a forward fold. So if you're coming from your puppy pose, you can just walk your hands back so that you're coming from tabletop and stepping forward, and then letting both feet come to the front, right where your hands are. Or if you are coming from downward facing, you can just bring your gaze forward and take a couple steps forward. We'll land in a forward fold, so upper body heavy over the legs, maybe keeping a generous bend in the knees, just letting the chest fold over the thighs. It's a great opportunity to get the feet connected with the ground. I like to spread out all my toes. I mean, right now I'm wearing socks, but it's just a great way to, like what we did with our tabletop position, feeling each toe pressing into the floor. Take a couple more breaths here. On the next inhale, we'll sweep up to a halfway lift, opening up the heart to the front of the room, and exhale back down, forward fold. Excellent job. Again, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, all the way up, arms reaching up overhead. And exhale down into our mountain pose. Our first standing pose right away. If you've come here before, you know the little shield, just checking in with the body, making sure that we're being really kind to ourselves and our posture. You can start right away by externally rotating the shoulders to open up the chest. From that internal rotation where you're getting that cashew spine, that rounding the spine, which can be very painful for a lot of people. Making sure that our weight is evenly distributed. We're not favoriting a side. We're just pressing into both soles of the feet. Making sure that our hips aren't pressing forward or tilted back either. So you can take a couple breaths here. If you're a visual person, you might visualize a beam of light that's coming all the way through your spine, right at the top of the head. With each inhale, you're continuing to elongate the spine. With each exhale, you're continuing to root down into the soles of the feet. Beautiful job. So I just recommend if you'd like to close your eyes, you can get that blueprint for the next time you find yourself standing somewhere or having a conversation with somebody, standing up, you can auto-correct your body. Beautiful. One more breath here. And on the next inhale, we'll sweep our arms up all the way overhead. And on the exhale, we'll bring the left foot back. Right foot comes forward into our warrior one. So adjusting is needed. If you don't get that back leg there all the way, not a problem. You can adjust as needed, keeping a bend over that front right ankle. Hips are shining forward, and the cherry on top are powerful arms, keeping the shoulders down, pressing into both soles of the feet. 2 more breaths. Last one. And exhale, we'll start to straighten out that front leg, hinging with our hips, coming over that front right leg. This might be an option if you'd like to place a block on either side. I only brought one block with me for some reason, but if you'd like, you can place one on both sides just to get that length. Another hamstring stretch in our pyramid pose. With each inhale, we're continuing to keep that chest forward, elongating the spine. And on the exhale, we're continuing to hinge over that right leg. 2 more breaths. Last one. And exhale, we'll make our way back up through warrior one and swivel out to the left to our warrior two. Yogi's preference, I like to take a wider stance for my warrior two, but it's not necessary. We'll bring both hands out to a T, gaze over that front right hand. Bend in that right knee. Beautiful warriors. Great job, everyone. Next, inhale, flip that front palm. Exhale, up and back into our little back bend. Reverse warrior. Breathing into that right side body, sending the breath there into that space. 2 more. Exhale, coming back through warrior two, straightening out that front leg, upper body comes forward. As the hips come back, option to place a block or another prop on the inner arch of that right foot, extending that left arm to the sky into our triangle pose. With each inhale, we'll continue to revolve, open that chest, sending that shoulder back, Beautiful. Great poses, everyone. Breathing in and out. One more. And exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands down on either side of that right foot. Stepping forward, forward folds. On the next inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, back down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, back down. Inhale, root to rise. All the way up, arms up overhead. Exhale, back down, pose. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, right leg comes back, left foot forward, warrior one pose. Great. One more breath. Exhale, straightening out that front leg. Exhale over that front leg into our pyramid pose. Option, blocks on either side of that front left foot. Two more breaths. Last one. Exhale, coming back up through warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Over to the right. Adjusting as needed. Gaze over that front left hand. Next inhale, lift the front palm. Exhale, up and back. Little bend here. Breathing into that left side body. Deep breath in and out. Two more. Last one. Exhale, coming back through warrior two, straightening out the front, hips come back, upper body comes front forward. Option to place that block or that prop on the inner arch of that left foot, extending that right arm to the side. Two more breaths. Last one. And exhale. Now we're going to come back up for our warrior two. I'm going to just face this way, going backwards and facing. And we're all the way horizontal down the mat. So our toes are kind of aiming towards the corners of our mats here. And on the next inhale, we'll raise our arms up into a 5-pointed star. And on the exhale, bending the knees, bending the elbows at 90 degrees. Inhale, arms up, extending. Exhale, back down. Great job. We'll keep that flow going. Inhale and exhale. And we're off. You can start to arrive at your own pace. We'll take 3 more. And we'll land back in our 5-pointed star whenever you're ready. And you can lower the hands all the way down. And you can just heel toe your way back through center. And we'll make our way at the top of the mat. But I'll continue to stay this way for a couple of balancing poses. So actually, I don't think even the last couple weeks we've visited our balancing poses, but feel free to bring a prop with you right at the top of the mat. Or if you're in studio, you're more than welcome to face the mirror. That helps too. I know today we don't have our mat down, that sometimes it's down and it can make it a little bit more difficult to balance. But whatever feels good for you, we'll come right away into our tree pose. So we'll start to shift our weight over to the right to start to free up on that left side. And remember, you can take whatever variation of tree that you like, whether you start by bringing the toes planted into the mat, or you can place your foot on a block as well to get a little height there. That's great. Or if you'd like to try and connecting that foot to the leg, that's also another option as well. And you have plenty of options for our hands, whether you have them down next to you, you can come at heart center, or if you'd like, you can grow some branches all the way up. I will say a huge thing for balancing is on our core. So if you need to start from scratch, finding your strength in your core, cinching everything to the spine, and then maybe finding something in front of you that's not moving and bringing your focal point there. So we'll take a couple more breaths here in our tree pose on this side without judgment, letting it be what it is right now. Excellent. One more breath. And go ahead, release, shake it out before we come to the next side. Beautiful trees. Hi. So over to the left, we'll start to free up that right side to take our tree. Maybe you can try different variations on this side as well, whether you feel a little bit more stronger, kind of slipping with these socks here. My toes are so chilly. Can't give them up just yet. So adjusting, making your way into your tree tonight. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. Last one. And exhale, go ahead and release. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. We'll do our helicopter arms. So really extending, taking up the space. And then remember, just going back to our tree pose, it is really challenging to take our balances and, just letting yourself, or recognizing in yourself that it's just practice. We're just practicing here, and that whether it's your tree looked like what it did yesterday or what it looks like next class, just letting it be what it is right now. So we'll start to wind down the arms little by little until maybe you're just getting a sway back and forth, maybe a hip rock, all the way down. Excellent. Okay, so since we're here with our straps, at the top of the mat, we'll come get our strap. This is not something that you need. If you're at home, you can just use without it. I'm gonna face with my back facing so that you can see where we're going here at the top of the mat. We're gonna take the strap in our right hand. If you don't have a strap, you can just extend your right arm. Now we'll bring a bend into that right hand, and we'll take our left hand reaching back for the strap. So again, you don't need the strap at all. If you do have the strap, you can take a bind with the strap, opening up the chest here. So it's not really about getting that strap grip, we're just opening up the chest. If you want to see what it looks like without the strap, all you have to do is raise that right arm up, pat yourself on the back, and take that left hand and bringing the palm up, just to the best of your ability right now. So opening up the heart, opening up the chest, taking a couple breaths here in our cow face pose. One more. And exhale, you can go ahead and release if you need to shake it out a bit. before we take it to the other side, with or without strap. If you're taking your strap, you'll just take it the opposite. I know it can get confusing when you're adding in a prop, so I'll just take it step by step. We'll take the strap into the left arm, left hand, bringing a bend into the elbow until the strap dangles down your back. Reaching all the way back until you get some sort of grip on the strap and you can open up the chest. Excellent. So we're kind of deprogramming our back from that cashew spine here by bringing a widening and opening of the chest. I'll take a couple more breaths here. Last one. And exhale, release, and let go, and we'll release the strap. Go ahead and shake it out if you need to. I know having your arms all tingled like that, my hands are tingly. Probably should have done the helicopters after that. But go ahead, I'll take a nice deep breath in, all the way, reaching up overhead, and on the exhale, hinging forward, we'll place the hands on the mat, and we'll take a step back into our tabletop, and then we'll take another child's pose. So widening the knees, and big toes to touch as our hips start to make our way down towards our heels, and our upper body comes forward. I just have my head lifted a little bit so that I can project my voice. Just checking in and seeing how this this child pose feels compared to that first one we did. We did a lot of hip openers already, especially with those tree poses, those balancing poses that we did, to kind of warmed up preparing for them. Taking some breaths here and just noticing what your body is feeling like. We'll take a couple little side bends. You can come onto the fingertips and spider walk yourself over and off the left side of the mat. Just moving the upper body, maybe reaching a little bit further with that right hand until maybe you feel a slight little tug, a little stretch in that right side body. Go ahead and send the breath there, opening up that space. One more. And exhale, coming back through center. And we'll take it over and off the right side, or whichever side you haven't done yet. Reaching a little bit further with that left hand. Few more breaths. Last one. And exhale, coming back through center. You can start to lift yourself up, and we'll swivel ourselves out so that our legs are extended down the mat. Okay, we'll take a couple twists here, but first we'll take one more forward fold. So we haven't really done many poses, actually any poses sitting down yet. So we'll take another forward fold, inhaling our arms up overhead to get that length, and exhale, hinging forward. So this is the same pose that we do standing up, our halfway lift, our forward fold, our halfway lift, our forward fold. It's just another little perspective change, getting that support on the ground, getting yourself to bend a little bit further over those legs. Maybe your hands touch your thighs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, or maybe they do get your toes. It's not the goal, but if they get there, no problem. If you're still having really tight hamstrings, again, keeping the bend in the knee is always an option. Two more breaths. Last one. And exhale, coming back up into our staff pose. And we'll take some spinal twists. We can start by keeping that right leg down, bending that left knee so that sole of the foot either is parallel to that leg or crossing over, yogi's choice. I like to cross it over. We'll bring a wrap around with that right arm, giving it a little hug so that we start to naturally twist over to the left. You can bring your left hand back for support. And we're just twisting here, nothing crazy. With each inhale, you can think about continuing to lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, giving that twist into the back. Two more breaths. Last one. Through the exhale, slowly unwind the spine. You can uncross, uncross the legs, and we'll take it to the other side. So bend, right knee, I like to cross it over, wrapping that left hand around so that you start to naturally twist over to the right. Right hand back for support, twisting over to the right. Big deep breaths, fully in, fully out. Two more. Last one. Exhale, slowly unwind. We'll untangle the legs and slowly make our way onto our backs. If you'd like to bring your props with you, you're more than welcome for some closing out poses before we come into our final rest. We'll start with the soles of the feet on the ground, the knees coming up into another hip opener, our figure four pose. We'll start by crossing the right ankle over the left knee into our figure four. Options stay here. If you'd like to take it one step further, you can float that left leg, threading the needle, interlacing your fingers behind that left thigh while you muscularly push away the right knee. Deep breaths fully in and out. Checking in on how your hips are doing. Lots of work today. Two more. After that last exhalation, you can slowly release. If you took a bind, you can untangle the legs, and we'll switcheroo over to the other side. So crossing that left ankle over the right knee and taking whichever variation of your figure four that you'd like to take tonight. Last breath here. And slowly through that exhale, untangling. And we'll give a little windshield wiper with the knees back and forth. And at this time, if there's any other shapes or postures that you'd like to come into before our closing, now is the time. I will say, since here in studio we do have our props, we can do a lot of great restorative poses with them. I know a personal favorite, and I know other people's favorite that they like to do is lift the hips up into the air, placing a block underneath the sacrum. So you're coming into a restorative bridge pose. This is a great one too. You can also come into happy baby, bringing the soles of the feet into the air, reaching for the inner arches and then rocking side to side. If you're taking your bridge pose with a block, you can also play around here too, maybe taking flight with your legs up in the air, getting a little inversion in your practice as well, which has great benefits. You can also take your legs up a wall as well, a great at-home practice to do. I like doing it at nighttime, bringing my legs up above the headboard of my bed. We'll take a couple more breaths, moments in our yogi's choice. Just letting the body cool down. And whatever you decided to do, whether it was your legs up or taking another different variation or pose, we'll start to make our way completely onto the mat, our backs connecting again on the ground, just like what we did at the beginning of class. You can let all of your limbs extend down the floor, your arms and your legs, making our way into our final rest as we've done all the work. And now we can just be. Excuse me. And take our last head to toe body scan, checking in with the body, checking in with the mind, seeing how you're feeling this evening, as you're taking that mental check, and start to erase any facial expressions that you might have, completely neutral, bringing a space between your upper and lower jaw, letting the tongue rest at the roof of the mouth, unclenching, sending the shoulders away from the ears, unclenching the tummy, and releasing through the hips, the knees, the ankles, and the toes, coming to complete stillness and softness. Shavasana. You found yourself drifting away, come back to the present, maybe introducing small movements to the body, a little wiggle of your toes or your fingers, or just refreshing with my personal favorite, a good morning stretch. Arms up overhead as we take one last collective breath together, inhaling through the nose and sighing it out. No need to get up. If you'd like to close out right where you are, you're more than welcome to. You may join me in placing your right hand over your heart, left hand to follow. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for coming out and practicing with me this evening and for letting me be your teacher. The light within me honors, shines, respects, and encourages the light within each and every one of you. I bow and say namaste. Thank you all so very much. I hope you have a great rest of your week and a refreshing rest of your night. Thank you.
Thank you.